rationale of listing on the JSE, particularly if you're not listing any new capital?
Okay, basically, I think it goes back to, if you think back to last year, our CEO, Yolanda Cuba from Mvelaserve Group, announced that we will be unbundling the assets of Mvelaserve Group to unlock shareholder value from Mvelaserve Group. And this is a second step towards that. And also, I mean, obviously, the secondary reason for that is to put Mvelaserve onto sort of a new platform for operations.
A new platform that will be looking at both organic and acquisitive growth to achieve a higher or more muscle for the company, right?
Yeah. Look, what we've said is we will grow the company organically. We will grow it by acquisitions if any companies that provide any synergy to our current operations is on the horizon. But primarily what we will do now is we will focus on organic growth to grow the company.
Ernst, what sorts of firepower do you have to fuel this growth going forward? Of course, the Mvela Group had cash of about 526 million rand. I think most of that belonged to you. What's your portion of that, and how's it going to help drive this growth?
Look, I mean, on the unbundling, at the day of the unbundling, we will basically have about 309 million rands of cash available. We've got debt facilities available, so I think we've got enough firepower if we want to do small acquisitions at this stage. Surely, what we will not do is incur huge debt to do huge acquisitions. But surely, I mean, from a normal organic growth point of view, we've got enough cash and firepower to fund our own organic growth.
Ernst, Nick, would you be considering issuing or using some equity to do these acquisitions, or are you going to prefer to keep that as is and just raise capital as you've mentioned?
I think we'll just raise capital as and when needed. At this stage, we've got no plans of raising of issuing any equity to do further acquisitions.
And just secondly, where are the major growth areas that you see for the business? Obviously, around sort of half of your business is the security, and the other half is the facilities management, as well as some other bits and pieces. Where do you see the growth opportunities, both from the industry perspective as well as geographically?
Yeah, I think first of all, I mean, from the security side, we still see a lot of potential, a lot of growth in that as well. We currently, as we speak, we are busy growing the security company, and then also what we're seeing is growth in the facilities management. But you must remember, I mean, I think we're the largest facilities management company in the country. Currently, 80% of our services are rendered to telecom, and there's still a lot of potential out there to grow the facilities management into a larger company.
Let's talk about that geographic spread, because we know Mvelaserve to a large extent targeting Africa for future growth as well. Any areas specifically that you've got your eye on at this stage?
Look, I mean, I think the stated policy is number one is to focus on South Africa, number one, and that is to in our own sort of backyard, to make sure that we've grown our companies to to where we want them to be. Then our expansion in Africa will be very much determined to a large extent by our clients as well. Our clients moving into Africa, we will follow our clients naturally.
Nick, your view on this company listing? Of course, it looks a bit like a Bidvest, almost a services company, smaller scale than Bidvest. Do you see appetite for a listing like this?
Yeah, well, you know, as I mentioned, strategically it makes sense unbundling it and giving investors a chance to pick and choose what portions of Mvela's assets to invest in. So,
of course, we've already had Life Healthcare listing a few months back, so you're seeing two of the biggest components.
Correct. So, yeah, strategically it makes sense to split it out. And often these businesses do trade at discount to net asset value, and this is one way of unlocking some of that.
Spelling what then for Mvela Group moving forward, because with this listing the group would have spun out more than 70% of its original assets. So the question is, you know, will Mvela manage to maintain its listing status?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but it does seem that the strategy is to have not too much left really.
Ernst, just looking forward, what's the environment like for business and outsourcing services at this point? I know we had your most recent results were those for the year to June, and you had earnings before interest up 31%, so it looks like a pretty good year last year. What's it looking like in the current year?
I think the outlook for the current year also very good. I mean, we, as I've said, I mean, currently as we speak, we are actually growing our operations. So we expect good results for the operations as well. Obviously, I mean, if you look at a group for the full year up to June 2010, it was a bumpy year on the investment side. Nothing drastically going down. So we expect group to do well as well.
Well, there was a stage, Ernst, where the company hadn't ruled out the possibility of a sale should a suitor come knocking with the correct price. Now, is that out of the question?
I don't think it's ever out of the question. I mean, it's difficult to say, but at this stage we're focusing on the listing, and we're looking at running the company going forward. I mean, obviously anybody is free to make an offer, but at this stage it's not top of our priorities.
Well, just going into the listing this morning, what's your shareholder base looking like?
Sorry, just repeat that for me, please.
Your shareholder base, your largest shareholders going into the listing?
Okay, going into the shareholders, I mean, the shareholders will, from today, basically mirror Mvelaserve Group's shareholding. What we currently have is we've got about 70% institutional shareholdings and 30% so-called free float.
On that note, let's leave it there. Thanks so much, Ernst Roth, CFO of Mvelaserve, for joining us this morning. Of course, that ahead of Mvelaserve's listing today.